Welcome to the Penny Bloom Podcast. Ain't another place that has got more bombast. Romp past your mom, dad's listening to Tomcats. Talking everything that make you sad. We don't want that. We're here to make you smile. Put your mind at ease. Peace, love, and bloom, and always praise Keeanu Reeves. This what we about. Get some weed and now. We'll talk until we can't no more, and then we peacing out. Alright, let's go. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome in to the Penny Bloom Dispatch. We have a wonderful show ahead for you. We got some entertainment, some science, some sports. In entertainment, we're going to go over some MCU news. We got some superhero movie stuff. We've got Disney getting sued. Surprise, surprise. That'll be fun. Some of the record-setting season of Emmys for Shogun. We got a couple movie reviews. I'm excited for that. And science. You've heard of the beach that makes you old. How about the Dorito dust that makes you invisible? More on that later. We've got the first privatized spacewalk and an update on the Boeing Starliner after last week, plus a few more things. We'll wrap up the show with sports. It's NFL, baby. Week 1's wrapped up, and I'm excited to talk about that. But we'll get to that at the end, and I've got Week 2 picks ahead. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm Colton Robertson. I'm joined by Joseph George. What's up, homie?
Oh, what up, what up? Always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it is always a pleasure to have you. And we've got a pretty solid lineup this week. Are you ready to dig in?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. This one, it's packed. I don't know. We got a nice week.
Yes, we do.
I'm excited.
Yes, we do. We are going to start with the unfortunate, the lowest of the low here. James Earl Jones passed away this week at 93 years old. And that is a long, long life lived with great reverence. People love James Earl Jones, and we talked about it a little bit on what we'll release next week for Fulcrum, a Star Wars podcast. We talked about Darth Vader a lot, so I wanted to shed some light on a few of the other things he did with his career. He was an incredible Broadway actor. The role he had in the movie or in the stage play Fences is one of the most iconic performances ever. Denzel actually just reprised the role on screen in a movie a couple years ago. And I read Billy D. I read his memoir earlier this year, and he talked about how he had to follow James Earl Jones in that role on Broadway after he was done with the run, and they got recast, and it was Billy D. Williams and not James Earl Jones anymore. And he was like, I've literally never had bigger shoes to fill. And that was earlier this year, So like, it was one of those things where there's nothing we can say to add to the eulogizing of this performer, this titan of industry, this titan of a man. He was incredible, and he was an Oscar short of the EGOT, which was the Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony. Yeah, he did get an Oscar nom 54 years ago. In 1970, he got an Oscar nominee for Best Actor. Did not win, but that was the lone Oscar nominee for James Earl Jones, and yeah, he actually got nominated for the Best Actor role in that movie when he'd won the Best Actor role in the Tony for the play of the same name the year before. So they were like, yeah, get this shit on screen. Let's roll, James Earl Jones, absolute legend. Just wanted to give him a little love because, wow, was that a crushing blow this week. An absolute legend. Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. He's the one of the pilots. Oh
my God.
Plays it straight. Yeah, it was actually his first movie role ever, which is cool.
Wow. Okay, and I remember him. I recently watched an Eddie Murphy
Coming to America.
Yes. Oh my goodness, that was so much fun just to finally see James Earl Jones not as Darth Vader, just a voice. I don't know. That was I feel like. But no, I watched Doctor Strangelove first. I watched that well before, so I guess I did see him.
He was very, very young. Yeah, I mean,
I just didn't recognize.
He would have been 33, 4 at the time, which is. Yeah, no, it's crazy. I mean, that precedes Star Wars by 12 years or 13 maybe. But
jeez.
Yeah, no, he I mean, Mufasa, we haven't talked that's true. Iconic, you know. Everything the light touches is your kingdom. Like there's a monologue that somebody posted from that Mufasa's delivering to Simba that just oh god.
It works so much different now.
It fucked me up, man.
I mean, hey, anytime we ever need some inspiration from a James Earl Jones, I think we got it. You know, as Mufasa.
Stars.
Yeah. Vader doesn't offer much inspirational quotes. No. There's not much to get there. But hey, that's not on him. He played the role well. That was what he was supposed to do.
Iconic. But yeah, so I wanted to start the show on the lows because James Earl Jones was an incredible talent, and death is sad, but 93, you're doing about as well as anybody can. You know what I'm saying in terms of living long. So happy to have gotten to bear witness to any of his life, and that's something. But in other sad deaths, this one definitely lesser known, but was something that specifically I took note of. Comic artist John Cassaday passed away at 52, which is very young. That's when the age factor is really, really sad. I actually, the first comic book run I ever read was drawn by John Cassaday. It was Astonishing X-Men, 2004, written by he who shall not be named. And god damn, could he fucking draw, dude. There's some beautiful pages throughout this man's career. I loved the way he drew Beast and Wolverine and everyone in the X-Men, but those were always my standouts when I was reading that book. And yeah, I adored his style. I adored the books he got to draw for, and just because he had such a personal tie to the first time I read comic books, I wanted to give it a shout because his art was arguably what made me stick with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was that good. So, John Cassaday, rest in peace at 52. Hope that he's getting the love he deserves now in the comic sphere.
Yeah. They're going to be a little hard and overshadowed, sadly. It shouldn't be like a competition.
No, it's not.
But hard whenever you do pass away very, very close to James Earl Jones.
Pretty sure it was the same day too, which was like I was already like, damn, man, and I was like scrolling my timeline. It's like a bunch of R.I.P. James Earl Jones, you'll be missed. Here's a quote from Vader. Here's a quote from Mufasa. Here's a quote from this. Here's a quote from that. And then I got to a certain post and it was like, John Cassaday passes away at 52. And I was like, what the fuck, man? Don't slide that in there.
Come on.
Yeah, no.
The day was already bad.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so just wanted to start the show out on the low notes because we're only going to go up from here. And we're going to start with just a tiny step up, which is that Disney is being sued for using Peter Cushing's likeness in Rogue One. Now, this could be good. This could be good. One of Cushing's oldest friends, Kevin Francis, claims the actor agreed not to grant permission for anyone to reproduce his likeness without Francis's authorization. One thing that this headline didn't specify is that Francis is also suing his family because they allowed it, because they authorized it.
No. Oh no! I hope they weren't just going for a really big check and then that's it. I mean, that's what it kind of. If this is all true, I guess that kind of is what it seems like. But man, I really hope that this. I just want this precedent to kind of be set. This would be a really nice like win. Like if this, I guess the other details behind it are a little, I don't know. Maybe there is more going on with the family and this guy.
Yeah,
I don't know.
The details aren't abundant yet. It is kind of the bare minimum as of yet, and I do hope that it snowballs into something bigger and more impactful, because what really, really always blows my mind about this, there's a movie called Top Secret from like 1983, starring Val Kilmer and Peter Cushing. It doesn't star Peter Cushing. Peter Cushing's in it, though. It stars Val Kilmer. It is so funny. One of the funniest 80s comedies I've ever seen. Like, it is hysterical. There's a sequence whenever Val Kilmer and the leading lady walk into a bookshop, and Peter Cushing is holding a magnifying glass over his eye, reading a book, and then he brings the magnifying glass down, and the size of his eye in the magnifying glass remains the same, and it's just like this giant face mold that he has on his face. That specific face mold was used to recreate his likeness in Rogue One, 30 years later. So, like,
what?
The impact that moment unknowingly had was immense. So it's always one of the more interesting pieces of movie trivia ever. That is a thing that because of the 80s comedy Top Secret, Peter Cushing was digitally necromancied into being in Rogue One.
So if they didn't have that mold of his face,
I'm sure they would have found a way, but
they would just, that's when they have a step-in actor that's somewhat close, but it's very nice
and they had that
have.
Anyway, you know, they had that anyway. So like, it's, so just, I really hope this goes bad for Disney. I hope that this Kevin Francis gentleman has the receipts, you know, legally binding documents that say this is the case.
Could give Disney major pause to announce, hey, we're doing something with James Earl Jones, you know, Vader and his voice, because I guess they, like, we heard that he did sign off. He said it was
for Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh, okay. So so he's already signed off. But does that, if you sign off once, does that mean it's
is it infinite? Does it? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. And that is interesting to think about. But so I just want this to set a precedent. We've just seen a little bit too much of this the last couple of years, with like Christopher Reeve in The Flash and George Reeve in The Flash and Adam West in the Flash. So just a lot of stuff that's like, what are we
doing here? I don't know.
I don't like it. I don't like it. So I'm hoping that they get taken to the fucking bank. There, that would be ideal. But next up, let's do some MCU rumors. Where Destin Daniel Cretton is set to direct Spider-Man 4 starring Tom Holland. This was the director of Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, which would make it the best Spider-Man action the MCU has seen.
Oh.
And that would be very, very cool.
Yes,
the side of the building and stuff. Yep.
Yes,
yeah.
That was running, and then the freaking on the bus. Well, I guess it's a bus. Yeah, whatever. In the just red bus going in and out the windows. If you had Spider-Man abilities on top of that, we're cooking now. Okay, I'm very okay. That's a very, I like this pick.
Yeah, I think this could be really, really strong. And Destin Daniel Cretton, the thing about this that I would like, going to him makes me feel like this could be a smaller, intimate story, not multiversal. However, everything else about the MCU right now doesn't give me hope that that's what we would be getting. But Destin Daniel Cretton, he's always done a really good job with these small, intimate stories. One of my favorite movies is it's called Short Room 12. It's got Brie Larson, and he the intimacy of that, and I'm Short Term 12. Sorry, Short Term 12, not Short Room. Not okay. Room is a different Brie Larson movie, and I mixed it in the middle there. Short Term 12. Yeah, no, that movie is absolutely incredible. It's moving, it's sad, but there's an uplifting hopefulness to it, and it feels like that's where we're at with Spider-Man. If you can go ahead and do something about it, that's good. That would be nice. We don't need to go anywhere multiversal. No one knows who he is. He can, he just have him check in on MJ and Ned as they're going to college and protect them. Or I don't know, maybe he stays in New York and lets them go. I don't know. Whatever they decide there, but I hope it's not I have to stay in New York because of a multiversal thing, blah blah blah. God, would suck. That would suck so bad. That would fucking blow. But that is a good sign. Destin Daniel Cretton take a huge level up from John Watts. I'm sorry, I don't love his work. He's fine. He's solid. But yeah, that would be a good step up there. But next up in the Spider-Man realm, we had a lot of really bizarre rumors about Beyond the Spider-Verse this week. From last week, I talked about the N. Snyder, the gentleman who provided the information that Josh Brolin, Ewan McGregor, Matthew McConaughey are all in the running, and I was like, take this with a grain of salt. It's this guy. A lot of his stuff is proven to be false. A lot of it ends up being true. And we have two examples of one being false and one being true this week. So it's why I pay attention to some of the stuff he says, because sometimes he's right, sometimes he's wrong. But when he's wrong, it's really funny because he's pathetic. After rumors that Sony had reportedly scrapped most of the completed work on Beyond the Spider-Verse due to creative differences. So that was a report this week, that Beyond the Spider-Verse had like a bunch done, and they were like, no, we need to rehaul this. We are starting over. And that the film wouldn't be expected until at the earliest 2027.
Okay.
Multiple people from the cast and crew were like, yeah, that is just not true.
So I wonder where he gets this. I don't know.
That's what was funny is he was like, he defended himself hard on Twitter, which was, it's funny because like, dude,
I'm assuming he still hears it from someone, or is it just fabricated completely? Like, is it just...
And that's the thing, is that who knows the ins and outs of creating content in that way. I don't have access to his stuff because it's behind a paywall. I get the headlines.
I see. Okay. Wow.
But
so he has people even pay for some stuff that isn't all true.
And that's why I'm like, he has enough that's true that it's worth your while to listen to what he says. But when he gets it wrong and everyone's like, dude, how'd you get it this wrong? Like that's a big thing to get wrong. Like this movie's basically been scrapped. They're starting over on it. And then for the people who are like, for it to be so easily disputed as them being like, nope, like, and then to be like, I have my sources. They say this and I listen. If you don't like it, you don't have to follow. Like, okay, dude. Okay, Jesus.
I wonder if it was more that not the content itself was scrapped, and just that the initial plan of releasing the movie so quickly was scrapped, and they realized, no, we need a lot more time. That's been scrapped a
while, though.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah, it wouldn't have been anything new, I guess, to figure that out. But I guess, I don't know, if it's 2027, whenever it is, I guess it kind of does suck that we, I guess, have to wait so long for the final part of that movie, but I want it to be just complete. I don't know. I don't want it to be rushed. Just give the people the time they need to complete it.
Oh, I agree. I agree wholeheartedly because, like, I made a joke whenever this hadn't been shot down yet on Twitter that was like, wow, the kids who saw Into the Spider-Verse when they were younger will be a whole 10 years older when they watch Beyond the Spider-Verse. And if history shows us anything, checks notes for the box office totals of No Way Home, it really doesn't fucking matter. Go ahead and give the animators the time they need. You know, like, if it just takes so long that it becomes a nostalgia thing, like, that's pretty fucking funny.
Yeah, they'll have all the new kids, and then all the nostalgia people going back to
exactly.
We need the answer. You
exactly.
know, it feels like I'm confident still that if they just drop one more movie, it's the best Spider-Man trilogy that there is.
I don't know how you can beef it. Like, yeah. It would have to be a fucking terrible movie. Now, the concern is that the second movie is like 80% of a movie.
Yeah.
I don't know what fulfilling journey Miles can go on in another 2-hour movie that will substantiate it being an entire own movie and not the third act of the second movie. That's my concern, but it's something that I feel can be easily subverted. I feel like they can do something to spice it up. It shouldn't be that difficult, but it does concern me that that's something that it also isn't that easy. You know, I'm saying it shouldn't be that difficult, but like, I also don't know how you do it. So like, that is where my concerns lie. But yeah, so after a bunch of turmoil surrounding that movie, we're actually in the exact same place we were last week with it. So not really news. It's kind of not news, but it is. It was in the news. Some more comic book movie stuff. On the DC side of things, Josh Brolin has passed on the role of Hal Jordan, which means he was explicitly offered the role of Hal Jordan. According to the Insider, that was the case. So, you know, like, again, you know, we're half and half. Reports also say McConaughey won't be donning the ring either. It is unclear if he passed on it or if he was ever in the running in the first place. That part, there's no telling what's true. That leaves, from the initial report, Ewan McGregor, which would be cool. He just got his ceremony for the Star on the Walk of Fame yesterday. Would be nice to see my boy Ewan in the DCU as a Green Lantern. I would love that. But yeah, so just wanted a little update on that after having teased it last week.
If he is a Green Lantern, do you think they go... Because, I mean, he can summon anything he wants. Do you think he summons a lightsaber on screen if he is?
I feel like they can't help themselves.
I mean, you have to. Something Star Wars. Maybe a blaster, and he doesn't like it. But whole, he embraces just the full-on Obi-Wan pose.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I would love to see it. I just don't know if I guess... No, I don't know. Is that there's no copyright or there, you know, it's like
if Disney they do it in a way that is obviously homage to lightsaber but isn't an express lightsaber, I think it's okay. But
yeah, but okay, our boy Ewan next up, the third string, but hey,
I hope he's there. He's there. I would love that. But speaking of nostalgia trips, a script for Constantine 2 is complete. According to a producer, Keanu Reeves set to return, with Francis Lawrence set to return to direct. Yeah, so not much more word on this than what we've already heard. But the producer said he's afraid to read it. The script. He's like, I want it to be good so bad. Is kind of the way he put it. I want it to be good so bad. I want to make this movie. But you know. We'll see. Is kind of how he went about it. I want this movie because I actually quite enjoy Constantine. I think it's a really fun movie. Obviously, I love Keanu Reeves. I think Francis Lawrence is a really talented director, and I think he's improved a lot as a director since Constantine. So it would be very cool because he directed the last 4 Hunger Games movies also. Catching Fire, Mockingjay Part 1 and 2, and then Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. So... he's improved the blockbuster side of his game, which I think is what Constantine could have used a little pick up on. It just was a little ahead of its time in terms of effects and what it was going for. I think Constantine 2 could really get her done. But
where do we leave off on Constantine? What was the end? Did he
died?
Yeah,
I think.
But the devil, didn't he? Or no, I'm mixing Ghost Rider and I'm thinking of the ending of Ghost Rider right now. No, Constantine. Yeah, what does happen at the end there? He dies.
I think
right?
so. I can't remember, man.
I don't know. I got to go back and I don't know.
I mean, it is Halloween season. I probably will be watching it here soon. I tend to do that at some point. Pretty forgettable movie, but I have a good time with it.
I was just gonna think of is this somehow a prequel to the new John Wick movie where this establishes that Constantine is bringing John Wick's soul, or he meets John Wick's soul in hell somehow.
Multiversal Keanu Reeves movie where he's playing a triple role.
Yep. Constantine,
John Wick shows up in hell, and Constantine greets him. John Wick takes him to the real world where they are fighting robots, and they have to upload a consciousness, and it's Neo. Yeah, we're all set. We're all set.
I mean, if it's not being written, I think someone in the industry heard this. They're taking it somewhere. I don't know, they're running off with this.
It's over. We just ruined Hollywood. But next up, Kendrick Lamar will be performing at the Super Bowl halftime show in 2025 and dropped a new song to celebrate. Man, imagine getting 5 months' notice that somebody's going to call you a pedophile in front of the whole world.
Big as the what?
Yeah, big as the Super Bowl.
What? Oh my! It's he couldn't have planned this. There's no way he knew he was going to land the Super Bowl.
No, but it's just fucking perfect.
Oh,
it's just fucking perfect.
And I feel like usually the crowds of the halftime show, the football fans are usually just on their phones and they don't care about the show, and it's the fans like on the field that you see going hype every time. I feel like this is going to be like a whole different thing. This could be like everyone's gonna get. I don't know. It's gonna be really, really cool to watch. Well, I guess we have some time to get there. But when this was announced, it was like, it just feels so right.
I love it. I love it, dude. It's the natural. Well, and that's the thing too, is that given the ramp up that we've done here with Kendrick Lamar, where he did the whole Kendrick Lamar and Friends concert for Amazon on Juneteenth. Really, really blew the fucking thing up. Dropped the video for Not Like Us on the 4th of July. Dropped this news. It gets announced as the Super Bowl halftime show on the first football Sunday. Drops a song on 9/11. And then I think that song came out on 9/11.
Oh my, yeah, what's he doing? He's hitting every
album.
You should expect something
Boogeyman album on Halloween.
Oh, I think you have to be on the nose on this one, dude. You have to be. The dude is. I feel like he's kind of going in this villain arc kind of era of. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if he's getting kind of dark right now.
I would say anti-hero. You know, like he's doing what he has to. Like is kind of what I'm looking at it like.
Yes.
Just the Boogeyman,
the Black Forces too. I mean,
the Air Force Ones, bro. Oh my
god. That's. Yeah, I mean, he is. I mean, maybe that does solidify the anti-hero villain there. I mean, yeah, he's showing I don't know, they were worn Black Forces too, not like new, I don't know, out the box. No, those have been
around the block,
increased. Yeah, it's like but man, I don't know. I listened to that on my walk home, and it was very
he's good.
Oh my god,
he's so good.
Yeah, it was so good.
No, so that was huge. I'm glad I selected Kendrick Lamar to be my GOAT years ago, because this year it has paid fucking dividends.
Yeah. Good draft. Yeah, very good draft.
Yeah. Let's talk Shogun real quick. I loved Shogun. I can't wait for you to watch it. There's a chance that maybe Death by Television at some point hits a little bit of a lull ahead of Shogun Season 2, and maybe we go ahead and slot Shogun Season 1 in. It will be worth our time because it has already won 14 Emmys, an all-time record for a single season of TV, and the official ceremony has not happened. It's this Sunday. So
this means that they only have more potential.
Yes, they will win more is kind of the perspective here. So it won Best Sound Mixing, Sound Editing, Picture Editing, Cinematography, Period Costumes, Main Title Design, Production Design, Prosthetic Makeup, Stunt Performance, Casting, Special Visual Effects, Period Fantasy Makeup, Period Fantasy Hairstyling, and Best Guest Actor in a Drama. Now there's a really good chance they win they could win Best Lead Actor in a Drama, Best Lead Actress in a Drama, Best Supporting Actor in a Drama, and Best Supporting I don't think they got a Best Supporting Actress nod in Drama, though they should have. So they could still win all those. They could still win Best Writing. They could still win Best Direction. They could, there is a chance they exit with 20 fucking Emmy wins, which would be fucking insane. And frankly, no show is more deserving. This season of television was insane, and when you get a chance to watch it, you will love it. That is a promise.
This all solidified my pick. That's for sure. I'm midway through the first part of season 6, I guess, part A of The Sopranos. But after The Sopranos is over, it's Shogun time. That's
HBO. Funny that you're watching The Sopranos again. Brand new this weekend was a documentary called The Wise Guys. David Chase and The Sopranos, and I watched it.
I was wondering.
I watched it, and definitely one that's like you got to watch the show before you fucking watch it. Yeah. But no, it was so good, and that show is so fantastic, and I cannot wait for you to get to the end. But that 6A 6B thing, nobody liked it because it was a way for HBO to not give the actors raises. It's supposed to be season 7. If you do a new season, every actor's entitled to a raise. And David Chase is like, it's a 7-season show. The 6A 6B bullshit. You know, like that whole thing. Like it pissed everybody off.
Dang. Yeah, that is a little icky. Man, it's always the streaming. It's always just Disney and all these companies. I hope they just get sued out the ass.
That'd be nice. That would be nice.
But man, but good show still. I don't know. Can't take away from how good the show is.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I wanted to conclude entertainment on a couple movie reviews here. So I saw Beetlejuice in theaters, which was super fun, super adorable, super cute, super funny. Michael Keaton is incredible as Beetlejuice. I think he is so goddamn funny. It's just something that, you know, I watch him as Batman and, you know, all these more, I saw him in Birdman, which is much more serious role. And it's cool to watch him have fun. 'Cause is he having a fucking ton of it as Beetlejuice? Winona Ryder and Jenna Ortega's chemistry is through the roof. I don't know if you've seen any of their like behind the scenes interviews and stuff. Like they are, they're buddy as hell. Like it's the personification of like having a 50-year-old best friend at work. You know, like they are like that. It's just too perfect. Let's see. I love Catherine O'Hara. She is so funny. She is, you know, Home Alone, Schitt's Creek, Kevin! Catherine O'Hara.
Okay.
Yeah, she is so fucking good in this movie, as she is in pretty much everything. Tim Burton managed to make a legacy sequel that suffers from being a legacy. Like, it's like, oh yeah, you're obviously making a sequel to a movie that is 35 years old. You know, like that's what it feels like. It feels like you are paying homage to something, and you know, and that is what it is. That's the state of Hollywood. He made it about as fun as you can. You know, he did. He made it about as fun as you can. It's no masterpiece, but it's far from bad. You know, there are far worse movies, and I think that it did. I think it did what it needed to. It made me smile, made me laugh. I had a great time. And I think that that's all that matters.
Is that the main idea of Beetlejuice? Is that it's kind of just like a boogie? You know, it's the say my name 3 times in the mirror and appear.
Yeah.
Usually, it's like they'll kill you or blah blah. But is he just like he's just funny to people, or like does he actually torment?
He's tormenting in his own way.
Okay.
It's kind of like, what if a demon was so fucking annoying you wanted him dead? You know, like
Okay.
And in the first one, he's a bit of a pervert. So that was something they had to do differently in the second one. Modernly, he's much more respectful. It's in the first one I was like, because I'd never watched the first one until last week before seeing Beetlejuice. So like I was like, I went into it not really knowing much about it, other than it scared me when I was a kid. When I was little, I didn't want to watch it because I thought it was scary. And Michael Keaton, like Gina Davis and Alec Baldwin are in the first one, and Gina Davis, they summon Beetlejuice, and he like gropes Gina Davis, and you're like, Jesus Christ, okay, wow. And it's just, it's ugly. He wants to marry a 17-year-old in the first one. It's like, yeah, you know, he is the bad guy though. So it's not like he's the good guy, you know, it's not like they're like, this is the guy you should be rooting for. No, he's a trickster demon. That's his thing. But the second one, I actually enjoy Michael Keaton even more in the second one. I don't enjoy the movie as much as I enjoy the first one, but Michael Keaton gets to do some fun stuff, and I think that that's all that matters. But yeah, so Beetlejuice was solid. The other movie I wanted to talk about was Rebel Ridge, which is a Netflix original movie that came out last week starring Aaron Pierre, directed and written by Jeremy Saulnier. I was excited for this. I'd heard a lot of really good stuff. John Boyega was actually originally cast in the role and exited a few weeks into production. Kind of unclear why. There's a little bit of drama there, but this says a lot because I love John Boyega. It was undoubtedly better for the movie. Aaron Pierre, this is a Star is Born moment for that guy. And if he does not become the next action star in Hollywood, we are horribly fucking up. We are horribly fucking up because, oh my God, he is fucking magnetic. He had, and you know I don't say this often, I reserve this, he had that girth on the screen there.
The girth has been brought back. This is high praise.
Yeah.
This is very high praise.
He had that girth. He was so good. I absolutely adored him. I thought that he was incredible as the lead role. So, premise here is that the gentleman Aaron Pierre is playing is going to try to bail his cousin out of jail. He's on his way to bail him out. He's got $30,000 in cash on him in his backpack on his way to bail him out. On his way, he's got headphones in and they're blaring really loud, and a cop tries to pull him over. He doesn't hear the cop, so he keeps riding on his bike, and the cop runs him off the road. So then, this is the first scene of the movie. They confiscate the money because they deem it to be drug money because he's going to bail somebody out who's on drug charges. And they're like, we're going to keep this. And he's like, this cannot be legal. And they're like, what the fuck did you say? And he's like, sorry, sir. You know, like, it's a very, very, prescient movie, I would say. It's definitely about the horrors of the American policing system and the corruption that faces untold amounts of police departments. And I really, really appreciated it. I think that this movie could have benefited from being about 25 minutes shorter. It's a bit long in the tooth. However, when it gets going, it gets fucking going. It is like well worth your time. I'm not a huge fan of the ending, and I'll avoid spoilers to the best of my ability because it is important that you see it yourself, but I think that the end compromises a bit too much. It's not that I wanted Aaron Pierre's character to like kill more cops or kill a bunch of cops. Like, I appreciate that he doesn't want to compromise himself in that way. It's something else I take issue with. This guy is like a hero. You know, like he is a no-kill rule, but he'll beat your fucking ass. Like, that is the deal. And I really, really appreciate that. So I want to make it clear that that's not what I take issue with. But I did go into it on my Letterboxd review. If you are interested in knowing specifically what I had an issue with, you can check it out on Letterboxd at Colton Robertson. But it's just a bit too compromising for me in a movie that was so anti-cop throughout the movie. There's a little bit too we're all friends thing to tie it up that I don't love. There's a twist in the movie that I've had time to sit with, and after sitting with it, I can be okay with it. At first I was like, yeah, really? Okay. But I can respect that in hindsight, certain police's courtesies that they extend to, say, a white woman would not be extended the same to a black man. And in so, I can wrap my head around this twist as being fine. And I'm trying to be vague about it without spoiling anything. So that might sound, for those watching, you might know what I'm talking about. But it was well worth my time. The ending, unfortunately, did affect it very negatively for me, but I've had time to sit with it. I think the ending's just really rushed. It just kind of, you'll watch and you'll go, oh, okay. You know, like, that's what we're doing. Okay. And it's that quick. I
do need more 2024 movies. I haven't been on that grind. I've been watching a lot of my physical collection, and I haven't been adding to that list. So this will be a good way to get back into that.
That one's well worth your time. You should watch Rebel Ridge because it is a good movie. It is undoubtedly well directed, and Aaron Pierre, if there's no other reason to watch it, he is the reason to watch it. He is that good in it. One of my favorite performances on the year with, like, Josh Hartnett and Trap and the Challengers trio, and you know, like, he is that good in it. But so that concludes the entertainment segment, and we can go ahead and get into the sciences.
Okay, well, pretty quick here, but yeah, crazy. This you ended up sending me the first story about, you know, our skin being able to turn transparent because of Dorito Dust, and I think it was, I forgot, I don't know, maybe I was editing at the time or had to get to class, but I didn't fully read the article, and all in my head that I heard, you know, I just had the picture of the clear skin and then from Doritos, and I'm like, man, I'm like, and then I guess the way you sent it to, you were like, stop all the presses, this is science for the week, so I kind of thought it was more of like a meme, you know, so I'm like, I didn't really put much, like, I guess much weight into it, and then I hear like someone else just talk about it, and I'm like, no way someone else is talking about it if it's not like actually something important now. I'm like, and so and then I actually read the article you send me, and I realize, like, holy shit, this is actually a pretty big discovery. But I mean, it is just it's because I thought at first this has to be something very harmful to people, or like they have to inject it somehow, or maybe it's like they have to eat something, but no, it's just literally the dye dissolved in water, and you rub it on the skin, and it turns the skin transparent of seemingly any tissue, which is, we haven't done human trials yet. I guess they did it on little pieces of chicken breast at first, and then just had like a word behind it showing that it gets a little more transparent, and then some lab rats, some mice got I don't know if they were alive or just dead, I don't know, but man, they were just strapped up, like all strung up.
They were,
but man,
sprawled out, yeah.
It's crazy that you just see their organs, like, through their stomach.
Yeah.
And the implications of that, if we can do that for humans, would be, I mean, man, it would have been awesome. I've just had many x-rays, many things of my midsection. It would have been awesome if I could just rub some yellow dye on my stomach and then say, hey, doc, just look with your own eyeballs right now and check out my digestive system. But it is crazy that the student that I heard about it from is they're actually doing some of the animal trials and work on rats right now. in their lab, and the professor that's kind of running it, they said they're so confident that it's harmless and so safe that they I don't know if they have done it yet, but they said that they were going to go home and try it on their pet, their dog, and like their midsection. They were so confident. I don't know if they have actually done that, but it's, I don't know. It was crazy that it did seem that it's harmless and safe, and really hope that we could have a cool medical breakthrough here. But
shout out to Dorito Dust.
Yeah, that's my only holdup is that like this is yellow dye, and like it's in every like soda and candy and anything yellow or anything neon-ish that you could think of, and like in the EU, like in Europe, you cannot really get this anywhere because if it's in a food, you have to put a massive warning label on it and all of that. So I guess like I didn't know this, but Fanta in the EU is like actually made with real orange juice and not the yellow dye or whatever that we have here, and it's very different, and a lot of like candies and stuff are way different. They just can't have these dyes in them. So I don't know. That's kind of my only holdup is that
damn regulations.
Yeah, it does seem harmless, and that it's just you rub it on the skin and you can rub it off, and the skin goes back to normal after. But man, what a crazy time to be alive, where we might. I'm wondering if this becomes like something you can just buy at the. I don't know. It feels like I hope it would be only in hospitals and doctors like put it on you, but it does seem that it's so simple, that like such a simple solution that it might be commercialized at some point. I wonder if someone will rub this on their entire body, and just have complete transparent skin. And I just the thought, that image in my head, I don't know. I don't know if I want to see it or not. But yeah, Dorito Dust. Who would have thought?
Who'd have thunk it?
This yellow dye is going to give us transparent skin. But other than that, I guess in space news, I guess we can start with Boeing first, the Starliner. It's quick. They sent it back to Earth. The astronaut's still up there. But it actually went a lot better than expected. It detached from the space station. It actually tested its thrusters right then and there. And just all of them were actually working. None of them failed. And then on re-entry, only 2 of the thrusters just got a little bit warmer than they were supposed to, but they actually didn't fail the whole trip, and it landed right where it was supposed to, only a minute late. They were aiming for a midnight land, and it literally landed at midnight 01. And so everything went actually really well. It's just, if there's ever a question, you don't want to throw the astronauts' lives in the mix. But I guess
you guys just want to come home a few weeks early? I don't know. You might die. We can
I don't know if
assure you'll be safe here in a couple months. But if you want to come home, it's fine.
Yeah. But so I guess it's back on Earth. They will, so it didn't blow up. So they can do a lot of testing and make future. I don't know. Just so this doesn't happen again. But I don't know if Boeing will be going up to the ISS anytime soon because of this. Hopefully they can get their shit together a little bit, but it seems that it didn't go as bad as it seemed at first. But then on the other side of the private space business right now, I guess, is SpaceX. They had their first privatized spacewalk, if you want to call it that. Just kind of open up the capsule, kind of peek out and look, hold a bar, and then kind of go back in. So there wasn't really any work done on the outside of a ship, but it was just a guy. This guy's a billionaire that ended up buying a shuttle from SpaceX that he just wanted to have this, like he initiated this and just paid SpaceX to do it. Crazy. It actually started out. He picked 2 other people, but then the 4th seat was supposed to be a raffle that anybody could have won if they donated to St. Jude. And it started as a fundraiser for St. Jude, and the 4th seat was going to be just open to anybody. But I guess somewhere down the line that just did not happen. And they replaced everybody. The 2 guys or 2 people that the billionaire wanted to bring didn't end up going. It was just SpaceX engineers and a retired Air Force pilot.
They were like, Okay, you can pay to play, but only you can do that. We're going to actually do stuff that we need to do otherwise. I get that.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah, and I don't know, maybe it is just to go up in a rocket. Like, I mean, you have to that's harsh training. Like, just to be like, yeah, anyone that donates to St. Jude, we're going to strap you in this rocket. That's
the fucking G-force.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it, man. I'd pass the fuck out.
Yeah, so I guess, but it is crazy that one dude ended up just, if you have enough money, I guess you can get to space. But some pretty cool shots. If you watch the videos of them with just the Earth in the background as they're kind of peeping out into space, and more of a test of their spacesuits, the new spacesuits that SpaceX has, and I don't know, kind of. They knew they would work. They vacuum tested them on Earth. We can vacuum test, and they've been tested. But just kind of another. You never know. You can open that hatch and your suit, if it has one little thing that's wrong, you're just gonna blow up instantaneously. But so a little bit of some scaries on the trip, but it went all well. They got back to Earth and got some pretty cool shots, pretty cool memory for that guy. But you got to be a billionaire, I guess, to even think about doing that right now. But maybe in the future. We could just hop on a rocket eventually, take a trip around the moon. But yeah, that's all the kind of bigger stories. And then just a little crazy that it's an update now is that we have like an actual weather team for the sun. Now is that we're like really looking at the sun's solar flares and stuff. And today, as of recording. We won't get it here in Missouri, but some of the northern states in the U.S., but a lot of Canada is getting another Aurora Borealis, a light show. This one's pretty quick. It's only going to last about 30 minutes, but the sun, it's continuing to show us that it's ramping up production. And sadly, we haven't gotten any more light shows down as far south as we are, but it's only more and more likely as we get into the year 2025. Cool. And then another short little thing is that there was an asteroid over the Philippines that I think it was on Wednesday that it entered the atmosphere, blew up. It didn't actually hit Earth, but we knew that it was coming. NASA detected it and said, hey, it should kind of airburst over the Philippines at this time. If you're in this area, you might want to move just because if our calculations are wrong, you never know. It could do some damage, but everyone should be safe. I guess the cool thing here is that it's the ninth asteroid that we've ever detected before it's hit the atmosphere. Only 9 ever, and it's just we're constantly looking for them now, but it's kind of very new and very that we know when they're going to come, and I don't know. So it's just kind of scary to think that we're actually getting pummeled by asteroids all the time. But now we know of a lot of them, and I don't know if that makes it scarier or not. But yeah, I guess we know whenever we can avoid them. So I guess it's a little bit less scary for me. But but yeah, over the Philippines on Wednesday, a cool fireball explosion. There was a video and a lot of pictures of it all over. So
hell yeah.
And then the last thing, I guess, in gaming, I guess one little short thing, the PlayStation Pro was announced for a nice $700.
Yeah, $700 for a discless console.
Yup, and if you want that disc module, you got to pay another. I think it's like $50 or $70 to add the disc mod. You can add it on later if you want. So yeah, it's just it. The only thing they promised as well too was like it has a little bit better graphics, and then AI upscaling is what they said. It's using some AI algorithm to make the resolution and graphics a little bit better. Yeah. But people, I don't know. People will pay it no matter what. That's for sure. I feel like it's just kind of like whatever they put out, some people will do. But it didn't seem very pro like. But it's coming out on the 7th. And then I guess one other little thing that you just sent me, which is kind of crazy, that the entire department, like an entire game developing company, like just all of their employees resigned. And
Annapurna Interactive,
yeah, which is crazy. The one game I knew was Stray. It's a game that you're a cat, you're a stray cat. That actually it actually got a lot of buzz back in the day, and a company that I didn't really know about, but I guess just a really big dispute between their employees and the higher ups, and they're all, I don't know. There's not a lot of details that I could find, but yeah, everyone has walked out. That's kind of nuts.
Respect.
So it'll be interesting.
Power to the people.
Yeah, to see, I don't know, whenever more details come out, what's like actually going on there. But the employees, they're all seeming like, no, yes, we did this, but we're fine. Like they're all like, we're good. They're not in shambles or anything. Like they're not making any demands. It seems it's just like, no, we all collectively walked out. We're good. And they even said, this game that we're working on, don't worry about it. It's going to come out.
Okay.
So yeah, I guess they seem very, very fine, but it'll be interesting to see what's happened to the company. I guess it's done now, it seems, but yeah, that's all for science and a little bit of gaming, I guess, but mostly science here.
Then we'll get on into sports, and I'll make this nice and quick. So in week 1, I won my week 1 fantasy football game, which was huge. I was very happy about that. I went 12-4 in the picks, and I'll break that down now. I did pretty solid. I lost the Friday night game, and I lost 3 noon games on Sunday. So I was like, "Fuck! Oh, this is gonna go bad. This is gonna go awful." But that was all. That was all I ended up losing. And all of them except for one were within 1 score. So it wasn't awful. But I got some notes, so we're gonna do some rapid fire week 1 notes. So. Panthers Saints. Panthers got fucking walloped. I picked the Panthers. That was a goddamn mistake. I will never do that again. Bryce Young is not an NFL QB, sadly. I really wanted him to be, but he just really does not look like it. Vikings at Giants. I did get this right. Vikings. Sam Darnold looked like a fucking god against the New York Giants. Will that ever happen again? Probably not, but it was nice to see. Patriots versus the Bengals. I picked the Bengals. The Patriots won somehow. The Bengals looked fucking awful. Steelers at Falcons. I picked the Falcons. Got that wrong. The Steelers are the only team in the AFC North without a touchdown. They're also the only team in the NFC North that won. Insane to say. They kicked 6 field goals, won 18-10. Texans at Colts. I picked the Texans, got this right. One of the most entertaining games of week 1. Anthony Richardson's Colts offense is going to be a problem. And coming up against Packers week 2 without Jordan Love, I think I'm going to go with the Colts. CJ Stroud is legit. All of his weapons at his disposal are in a pretty solid defense. Houston is going to be a problem again. Cardinals at Bills. I picked the Bills, and they narrowly eked it out. They were slow going, but when they hit their stride, the Cardinals didn't stand a chance. Arizona came out hot, cooled down real quick. Titans at Bears. The Bears won. Caleb Williams got his first W in his first career game, but far from because of him. Defense and special teams won the game. He threw for 48% completion percentage, and it's got to get better for him or they won't keep winning games where they get outplayed like this one. Jaguars at Dolphins. I took the Dolphins, and the Dolphins took a while to get going after a messy Sunday morning after Tyreek Hill was detained in the morning for speeding, which was ugly. Mm-hmm. You know how awful police have to be to make Tyreek Hill a sympathetic figure? The Jaguars look good, but between the way the Colts versus Texas went and the way the Jags looked here, I may have been sleeping on how good the AFC South will be. Broncos at Seahawks, got that right. Bo Nix looked all right for a rookie QB, but, it is what it is. The Seahawks were ugly as shit. They gave up 2 safeties somehow. Raiders at Chargers. Pick the Chargers. Chargers won. Smash Mouth, Harbaugh branded football. Raiders led in possession, pass yards, total plays, third down conversions, first downs, and still lost by 2 scores. Cowboys and Browns. I picked Cowboys. They're always good in the regular season. They always dominate. Never a contest. And like I said, Deshaun Watson at QB, you're going to lose. He's not good. Commanders at Bucks. I went with Bucks, and Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans looked like fucking MVPs out there. Rams at Lions. The Lions' overtime possession was some of my favorite football I've ever watched. David Montgomery put his head down and ran down the fucking throat of the Rams defense, and it was so nice to see. And then the 49ers did end up beating the shit out of the Jets. Like I said, I didn't believe in the Jets, and I was right not to. Okay, week 2. I'm 0-1 so far. Had I watched week 1 before the Thursday Night Football game, I would not have picked the Dolphins. I want to say that. That was a preseason. No, nothing had happened yet. I went with the Dolphins. It sucks, but I did get that wrong. I will own it. I will not act like, oh, well, because of I decided between. No, I got it wrong. It's fine. Fuck it. We ball. But for the rest of these week 1 games, 49ers at Vikings, 49ers easy. Seahawks at Patriots. After the way the Seahawks played last week and the way the Patriots beat the Bengals, I'm going Patriots. Giants at Commanders. I think Jaden Daniels is going to get his first career win against a terrible fucking New York Giants team. Chargers at Panthers. Never picking the Panthers again, buddy. Let's go Chargers. Saints at Cowboys. I liked the way the Saints looked against the Panthers. However, they're not going to beat the Cowboys. I'm going to go with the Cowboys. Colts at Packers. After the Packers losing Jordan Love for a couple weeks, and the way they looked against the Eagles, which was the game was closer than it felt. I felt like the Eagles were putting the work on the Packers. I'm going to go with the Colts. They look good. I'm excited for them. Browns at Jaguars. Jaguars. If you have Deshaun Watson at QB, you're going to lose. Jets at Titans. I'm going Jets. The Titans lost to the Bears in a game where they should have won. You're not beating the Jets. Sorry. Bucks at Lions. This is a tough one. The Bucks looked really good, but I like the Lions a lot. I'm going to stick with them. Raiders at Ravens. I'm going Ravens. The Raiders aren't that good. Rams at Cardinals. This is an interesting game. The Rams got taken to overtime by the Lions, and they just got tired. They got a lot of injuries. They're not looking good. The Cardinals started out hot against the Bills and kind of cooled down. I'm going to go with the Cardinals, but I'm not super confident in this one. This is like a pick 'em for me. You could go either way, and it'd be fine, but I am going to go with the Cardinals. Bengals at Chiefs. The Chiefs are going to beat the fucking shit out of the Bengals. They lost to the fucking Patriots last week. Steelers at Broncos. Steelers. Sunday Night Football, Bears at Texans. The Texans are going to put a fucking smacking on Chicago. It's going to be bad. And then Falcons at Eagles, I would argue, same thing. The Eagles are going to beat the shit out of those guys. And then I do have to do the Week 3 NFL Thursday night. Let's see what the game is. Sorry, I hadn't checked this out beforehand. I really need to start doing that, don't I?
It's far more in the future, though. I guess it's a whole other week. It feels, or it is. No, legitimately a whole other.
It is. It's week 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
My phone is okay. Patriots Jets. I'm going to go with Jets Thursday night.
Okay. There we go.
I do think the Patriots are going to start 2-0 though, which is crazy. I did not anticipate that. They looked ugly as shit going into the season. They beat the Bengals. More a testament to how awful the Bengals looked than the way the Patriots looked. But I think that given the way the Seahawks looked fucking awful against a rookie quarterback in Denver, or at home against Denver, going to New England, it's just not going to be good. So that's one of those games that I'm not going to be watching like at all. That's awful. So yeah, those are the picks. Those are the picks for week 2. Let's get it, baby.
All right, the flip bet, the dollar bet will go in. I learned last week that there's a maximum of a 12-leg parlay. That's the most they allow. So
damn, if you'd have picked the right 12 games, it would have hit.
Man, I guess that's true. I guess, I threw some of the, other ones in there. So I guess, I don't know, maybe if you have 12 that you're uber confident about, I don't know, are there 4 that you want to throw out, or I guess
four I'm not super confident in. Like I said, Cardinals, Rams, not certain on that one. Bucks, Lions, not certain on that one. Let's see. Steelers, Broncos, not super confident in that one. And then let's go Seahawks, Patriots, if I have to throw in another one. That one's... So, if there are 4 games you exclude, it's those 4 games.
There we go. Okay, yeah. Who knows? Maybe we'll hit big. We'll hit big this week.
Yep.
And we're... I don't know. Take it finally to the bank. But, yeah, I don't know. Tyreek did not do well. I do have him on my team. He, only got me 6 points yesterday. But... the rest of the season so far is actually going very well for me, even though I am the one who cares the least, absolutely, in my league, and put the I am leading the league, and not even by I'm leading it by a fair margin as well. I don't know how I did it. I think I just have some crazy beginner's luck.
The points scored thing just kind of went through the roof for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like my brother, who really, he put a lot of thought. He scored 125 points last week. I scored 175.
God damn!
50 more points than my brother. So yeah, me and my sister are actually the two team leaders, the league leaders right now, the two people who are brand new to fantasy. So
that's funny.
So there has to be there's some truth to beginner's luck for sure, because I'm getting a whole lot of it. But
yeah, I faced Tyreek Hill last night, so that went well for me. But I did start Josh Allen, who did not have a good game. I also had Devon A-Chain on my bench, which hurts because he put up 30 points. So that was rough. But it should be a good week. I'm excited for it, and we'll be back next Friday with more Penny Bloom Dispatch for you. And with that, I was Colton Robertson. I was joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, homie.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you. And I completely forgot to do plugs, so I'm going to do that now, post sign off. Patreon.com/PennyBloomPod. It's basically there for you to support us financially. It's $1.50 a month. If you like the podcast, you like what you hear. It costs me money, and I don't make any off of it unless it's over there. It's basically a donation right now. However, when we get video going again, that will be where videos of the dispatch goes. You'll be able to watch us. You'll be able to see us. It'll be a lot of fun. So you should be there. We also have a ton of old stuff there. I mean, like hours and hours and hours of content and a bunch of pages of written stuff. So like, it's not like you're paying for nothing if you're a new subscriber. You should get there. It's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of fun. Patreon.com/PennyBloomPod. You can follow on Twitter @PennyBloomPod. You can follow there, and it will be where you get any and all updates on what we're doing. That would be a huge, huge help, because that's where everything important going on is. That's where you'll hear about it. We are about to launch. We're about a week and a half out from the launching of Death by Television, which is now fully available with 91 episodes, all from our Game of Thrones rewatch and our House of the Dragon coverage. We are going to be covering The Penguin, which starts less than a week from today on the 19th, and then it'll be Sundays there on out. We'll be covering it every Monday starting the 23rd, and I'm excited. Death by Television coming then. We are now only a couple weeks out from our launching of Cinementalists, our movie podcast. I do want to say here, we started the show with the James Earl Jones eulogy. We recorded all three of our first 3 episodes prior to the passing of James Earl Jones, and they are live commentaries of the Star Wars original trilogy, which he is a massive part of. So if it sounds like we are unaware that he's gone, that's why. I don't remember any specific references to anything that would be like, well, that clearly doesn't hold up. But like that, just in case. We did record all 3 of those prior to his passing. So that's something to look out for. I think about a month from today, actually. October 11th. Right? Yes, October 11th is the launching of Cinementalists now. So about a month from today, we got a little bit to go. But yeah, and I believe that's it. We got Fulcrum season 2 kicking off next week with Rebels, the season 2 rewatch, and we'll be doing that all the way up to December, December, where we will be covering Skeleton Crew. So we got a lot to look forward to. Stick with us and you won't be disappointed. I already did the sign off, so remember, peace, love, and bloom, and rest easy, James Earl Jones.